Hello everyone, my name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader and I've got my mini ears on. I had actually bought these to go to Disneyland with my family, but obviously plans have changed. But I'm not going to waste these Mickey ears because today's video is the Disney Princess book tag. This was actually originally a tag that was going on around Instagram, so I might try and see if I can post it some of my answers and stuff over on Instagram. If you want to follow me over there, it's down below. But anyway, I have my handy dandy Targaryen notebook here with me, so let's just get right to the questions, shall we? These were made by a lovely Etsy store called Luby and Lola, I think her name is. I will try and leave the Etsy shop down below because she's a small business and we should be supporting small businesses right now. So anyway, on with the questions. The first one is Ariel, a book that takes place by the sea. Now, this was a really obvious one for me. I actually sat and thought for a while. I was like, what books do I have that are centered around the sea? And I'm like, how about one that has the word sea right in the title? So this is Goddess of the Sea by PC Cass. This is one of the books in her Goddess Summoning series. It's basically about this 25-year-old woman called Christine Kennedy, and she is in the US Air Force. And actually, fun fact, PC Cass was actually, I think, in the Air Force herself, if I'm right in that. I remember reading that somewhere. But anyway, she is just not really feeling, she's all alone on her 25th birthday, and she ends up invoking what goddess is it? I can't remember what goddess it is, but basically she ends up crashing into the sea in this plane. She's like in the army plane and it crashes into the sea, and she ends up invoking this goddess, and this goddess kind of switches her body with a mermaid. Like, can you get more sea-like than that? Like, that's really all I can tell you. That's kind of the premise of the whole thing. And yeah, there's a lot of sex in these. So if you're into fantasy and a lot of smut and just, yeah, read this. I've actually read this like 2 or 3 times. It's actually my favorite in the Goddess Summoning series. Anyway, next one, Cinderella. A book that makes you feel empowered. I thought this was an interesting prompt for Cinderella because the story of Cinderella herself doesn't personally make me feel very empowered. But if it does for you, then more power to you. But the book that I chose for this is Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin. This is actually a Macbeth retelling, and it's a modern retelling. It's really dark. It's about this girl who is raped by 4 different boys from this really rich and snooty prep school. And basically she just takes it upon herself to get revenge by killing them. Now listen, I'm not saying, it made me want empowered to go out and murder somebody, but empowered in the idea that when something traumatic happens to you, and God forbid it never ever does, never ever be afraid to speak out about it, and never ever be afraid to, be a survivor and let other people know, yes, this happened to me, but I'm a stronger person coming out of it, if you know what I mean. And that is why this made me feel empowered, not the murder. Murder's bad. But yeah, read this. The next question, Aurora, a book with a powerful villain. This took me a while to decide, but then I was just like, you know what? I'll go with the villain from a series that I just recently finished, and that would be the Diviner series by Libba Bray. Very powerful villain in this one because it's a supernatural story, and the villain in this is kind of like this supernatural sort of entity, and it's one of those villains. It's like, sort of kind of like that sort of villain that everybody's thinking, oh, he can't possibly be killed. He can't possibly, be getting rid of. We can't destroy this. But, and that is what I get from this. And yeah, a lot of dream walking in this as well. Like the villain sort of exists in dreams and stuff. It's really creepy and it's wonderful. You should definitely read The Diviners. The next one, Belle, a book with your ideal library. Now, there's probably one on this shelf that I could probably read, that I'll probably remember later on and be like, oh my goodness, why didn't I pick that one? But instead I went with Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor. This is one of my favorite books of all time. And if you are familiar with the main character, Laszlo Strange, he is a librarian. And the library that he works in is just big. It's one of the biggest in like the whole world. And there's just like rooms upon rooms of all these books. And he just spends his entire days just reading and being amongst all the books. And it's just beautiful. Sorry, my nose is itching. Anyway, it's just beautiful and wonderful, and yeah, I want to like go to this library and like have Laszlo show me around because it's just beautiful and magical. Okay. Oh, I think the cover on that's torn. Anyway. Oh, I'm just flying through these. Oh my goodness, it's warm in here. Anyway, the next one is Jasmine, and that is a book with a powerful person of color protagonist. And there's literally only one that I could think of. There's probably a lot more that are maybe in some people's opinions a lot better, but I went with Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. The main girl in this is just a queen. Like we just love her so much. We love Lila so much. Like she stops at nothing to get justice. Like she doesn't care all that much about what happens to herself. She just wants like everybody around her to be safe, and she's just so badass. Like as the story goes on, it's just amazing. It's amazing. And the fourth book in this series recently went up for pre-order, so I'm really, really excited about that. One of my favorite series of all time is Ember in the Ashes. Anyway, the next one is Pocahontas, a book that brings you adventure. Now, would I really be me if I didn't shove this particular book at you once again? Heart of Iron by Ashley Foston. One of my favorite book of all time from last year. I read this for the first time last year, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's so, like, I went on a full-on adventure whilst reading this. I genuinely could not put this down for the entirety of the time that I was reading it, and you can see here by all the tabs that I have in here, it's annotated to filth. Like, I love it so much, and I know I've been shoving this book at you guys for quite a while, but seriously, if you haven't read this, I need you to read it. Like, read this and then read the sequel and just join me in the gushing because it's beautiful and amazing. Anyway, the next one is Mulan, a book with a warrior protagonist, and the one that I chose for that was Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yi. And obviously, if you know who Avatar Kyoshi is, you know that she is a badass warrior. She's amazing, she's wonderful, she's a queen. Like, we stan Avatar Kyoshi in this house. Like, she's just wonderful, and she's one of those characters that kind of starts off like, oh, I don't believe in myself, I don't know if I can do this, but then as soon as she has her like battle fans like in her hand, she's unstoppable. She's unstoppable. She's amazing. And yeah, I love this book. It's annotated to filth as well. I'm really excited about the sequel for that. I have it pre-ordered. It hasn't come yet because the date hasn't like fully been announced yet, or like the date might be changed. I'm not entirely sure, but I have it pre-ordered, so hopefully it'll come. The next one is for Tiana, a book that made you hungry. Now, probably whenever this tag was being put together, they were probably thinking like physically hungry, you know, like certain eating food and you're like, oh, I really want to eat that food right now. But I'm talking about different kind of hungry when I talk about this one. Haunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. Recently read this month, and this made me hungry in the fact that obviously it is a murder mystery and just things were happening, things were unfolding, and there were just so many questions needed to be answered, and I was just so eager to get to the end. Like I was hungry for like just more, really. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed reading this. I'll talk about this more in my wrap up at the end of the month, but yeah, I really, really loved it, and I was so hungry. Not in the physical sense, but hungry in the sense that I just wanted to find out who done did it, and it was wonderful. It was great. Okay, the very last, well, no, not the last one. Rapunzel, a book with an animal sidekick. Again, I probably could have given this a little bit more thought, but I went with Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Our main character, Bryce, in this has a little chimera sidekick. He kind of looks like if a pug and a lion mushed together, because he kind of has like a smushed in face. It kind of looks like a pug, and he's just really cute. And yeah, we love him. He does have a name, but I can't remember his name. I think they call him like Sticks or something like that. People that have read this, let me know what his name is, because I can't remember it right now. But yeah, cute little Chimera sidekick right there. Okay, next to last question is Merida, my twin, a book with a great mother-daughter relationship. Again, this took a little bit of thinking, because I read a lot of young adult. And are the parents really around in the young adult world? No, they're not. They're either dead, or oh, my dad left years ago, I haven't seen him since I was 3. Or it's they're there, but they never play a really, really big part in the story. And for this one, I went with The Mortal Instruments. So Clary and her mother Jocelyn. They have a little bit of a rocky relationship in the beginning of this series, but as the series goes on, their relationship just gets stronger and stronger, and it's really, really lovely to read. It's really, 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 really lovely to read. City Bones, not my favorite in the series. I just picked this up just as an example. I actually haven't read The Mortal Instruments in a long time, and some of you that have been watching the TV show clearly haven't read any of these at all, but I'm just saying. That's an unpopular opinion for another day. The very last one is Elsa, a book with a protagonist that fought depression and won. And I'm going to go with probably one of my favourite protagonists that I have read in the longest time, and that is Juliet from Shatter Me. Juliet goes through a lot, and I know that this series is old. I know that this series is probably not everybody's favorite. Not everybody was liking the latter books in the series, but I adore the series so much. I adore Juliet as a character, and just her like mental well-being throughout the whole thing, like what she goes through mentally, psychologically, just everything. And you know, she comes through. She's so strong, and that is just what I adore so much about her. Anyway, that is the Disney Princess book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I really, really liked putting this together. I really love doing tag videos. So if you have any ideas for tag videos you'd like me to do, leave them down below. Also down below in the description will be my Twitter and my Instagram. Feel free to follow me. And the subscribe button is right down there, so feel free to click on that and ring the bell so you know when I upload, because I will hopefully be uploading more videos very soon. And I will leave the Etsy shop down below as well that I got my ears from if you want to go and support a wee local business. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I am Katie, the Introverted Reader, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.